Hello dear viewers, welcome to this special report on Ayodhya verdict on ABC News agtlive. 9th November 2019, Saturday has been indeed a historical day in India. The reason is not far to seek. It's all about the Supreme Court's verdict on Ayodhya. From the time immemorial, this particular topic has been a burning issue even globally. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has finally inked on the contentious issue today on 9th November, Saturday. Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, heads the 5-judge Constitution bench to deliver its verdict on the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid title suit. Alright, let me just read out the page numbers 114 and 115 of the verdict. The disputed land will be handed over to a trust which will also have representation from the Nimauhi Akara, the apex court said. It directed allotment of the alternate land to the Muslims for construction of the mosque. Dr. Rajiv Dhawan, learned senior counsel, submits that although in oral statements it was stated by the page 115 witnesses that the birthplace of Lord Rama is below the middle dome, but in fact Ram Chabutra, which was outside the three-dome structure on the left side in the outer courtyard, was the birthplace of Lord Ram. He submits that in the judgment of the suit filed in 1885 by Mehant Raghubar Das also, the Janmastan was treated to be Ram Chabutra. 169. The sequence of the events as noticed above clearly indicate that faith and belief of Hindus was that birthplace of Lord Rama was in the three-dome structure mosque which was constructed at the Janmastan. It was only during the British period that a grilled wall was constructed dividing the walled premises of the mosque into inner courtyard and outer courtyard. The grilled iron wall was constructed to keep Hindus outside a grilled iron wall in the outer courtyard. In view of the construction of the iron wall, the worship and the puja started in Ram Chabutra in the outer courtyard. And suit of 1885 was filed seeking permission to construct temple on the said Chabutra where worship was permitted by the British authority. Page 116. Faith and belief of the Hindus as depicted by the evidence on record clearly established that Hindus believe that at the birthplace of Lord Ram, the mosque was constructed and three-dome structure is the birthplace of Lord Rama. The fact that Hindus were, by constructing iron wall dividing mosque premises kept outside the three-dome structure cannot be said to alter their faith and the belief regarding the birthplace of Lord Rama. The worship on the Ram Chabutra in the outer courtyard was symbolic worship of Lord Rama, who was believed to be born in the premises. 170. It is thus concluded on the conclusion that faith and belief of Hindus since prior to construction of mosque and subsequent thereto has always been that the Janmastan of Lord Rama is the place where Babri Mosque has been constructed and which faith and belief is proved by documentary and oral evidence discussed above. Soon after the verdict, the Congress Party spokesperson Randeep Surjewala said that Congress respects the Supreme Court verdict in the Ayodhya land dispute and is in favor of the construction of a Rama temple there. Quote unquote, "It is the responsibility of each one of us to reaffirm our tradition of mutual respect and unity among all that has defined our society through the ages." Contextually, Jafriav Jilani, chief of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board in Uttar Pradesh, expressed dissatisfaction over the Supreme Court's Ayodhya verdict. According to him, it has a lot of contradictions and they will seek a review of it. The apex court on Saturday cleared the way for the construction of a Rama temple at a disputed site at Ayodhya and directed the centre to allot a 5-acre plot to the Sunni Waqf board for building a mosque. The All India Majlis Ittihad ul Muslimin, that is AIMIM leader Asaduddin Owaisi on Saturday said the Supreme Court verdict on the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi land dispute was a victory of belief over facts. The Hyderabad MP, responding to the apex court verdict, also said that he was not satisfied with the ruling. The Supreme Court is indeed supreme but not infallible, he said, quoting a former Chief Justice of India. In this context, Rastriya Sebak Sangh chief Mohan Bhagavat said that it should not be seen as anybody's victory or defeat. Everybody should now forget the dispute, and which had continued for many decades, and work together to build a Ram temple at the disputed site in Ayodhya. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on the Ayodhya verdict said, quote unquote, it is a historic and landmark judgment. The Supreme Court on Saturday ruled that the Hindu side would get the entire disputed 2.77 acres in Ayodhya, and this is the land on which the now demolished Babri Masjid once stood. The Muslims will get alternate land either in the surplus 67 acres acquired in and around the disputed structure by the central government or any other prominent place. The entire 2.77 acres will remain with the receiver and will be handed over to a trust to be formed in 3 months to build a temple. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, quote unquote, India's credo of unity in diversity was visible in its totality after the Supreme Court verdict on the Ayodhya land dispute, as all sections of the society accepted it with an open heart. He urged two people to shun bitterness and negativity for the sake of a new India. The way each section of the society welcomed the verdict reflects India's ancient traditions of amity and harmony. Pandit Ravi Shankar and the BJP MP Uma Bharati also welcomed this verdict. And the 92 years old senior BJP leader Lal Krishna Advani welcomed this verdict. And while reacting at the verdict, he said, quote unquote, it's a moment of fulfillment for me because God Almighty had given me an opportunity to make my own humble contribution to this mass movement, the biggest since India's freedom movement, aimed at the outcome which Acid verdict today has made possible. Dear viewers, let's now have a quick chronological record on this particular Ayodhya issue. It was in the year 1528. According to the inscription on its walls, the Babri Masjid, constructed on orders of Emperor Babur, and the local tradition says it was built after demolishing the ruins of a temple at the birthspot of Rama. In 1611, English merchant William Finch recorded Rama's castle and houses being visited by pilgrims. In 1717, Rajput noble Jai Singh II purchased the land of the mosque and vested it in the deity Hindus worship Rama idols outside the mosque. In 1768, Jesuit priest Joseph Taventale witnessed the mosque and recorded the local tradition that it was built by Aurangzeb, while some said Babur built it. 1853, the first recorded communal clashes over the site date to this year. 1859, the colonial British administration put a fence around the site and denominating separate areas of worship for Hindus and Muslims. That is how it stood for about 90 years. In 1949, December, idols were placed inside the mosque and both sides to the dispute filed civil suits. The government locked the gates and saying the matter was sub judice and declared the area disputed. The civil suits were filed for ownership of the plot number 583 of the area. 1961, a case filed in Indian courts against the forceful occupation of the Babri Mosque and placing of idols within it. 1984, the movement to build a temple at the site which Hindus claimed was the birthplace of Lord Ram gathered momentum when Hindu groups formed a committee to spearhead the construction of a temple at the Ram Janmabhoomi site. In 1986, a district judge ordered the gates of the mosque to be opened after 37 years and to worship the Hindus inside the disputed structure. A Babri Mosque Action Committee was formed as Muslims protested the move to allow Hindu prayers at the site. The gates were opened in less than an hour after the court decision. In 1989, The clamour for building a Ram temple was growing. In February, BHP, that is Vishwa Hindu Parishad, proclaimed that a Shila or a stone will be established for construction of temple near the area. In November, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad laid foundations of a temple on land adjacent to the disputed structure. VP Singh became the Prime Minister of India with support of BJP, which had won 58 seats in the election, a massive improvement from its last tally of 2 seats. The then BJP President Lal Krishna Advani took out a cross-country Rath Yatra to garner support for the move to build a Ram temple at the site. On 23rd October, he was arrested in Bihar during the Yatra, following which BJP took back its support to the government, and Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister of India with support of Congress on 30th October, and many were gunned down by the police on orders of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mulayam Singh Yadav when they gathered in Ayodhya as participants of the Rath Yatra. Their bodies were thrown in the river Saryu. In 1991, the Congress came to power at centre after elections in 1991, while BJP became major opposition party in centre, and it came to power in many states such as Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Kalyan Singh became the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and state government acquired 2.77 acre land in the area and gave it on lease to Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas Trust. The Allahabad High Court stopped any permanent construction activity in the area. Kalyan Singh publicly supported the movement while central government took no action to curb the increasing tensions. In spite of the High Court judgment, disputed area was levelled. Kalyan Singh took steps to support the movement such as making entry into area easier, promising no firing on Kashevaks opposing decision of the central government to send a central police force in the area, etc. In July, and several thousand Kashevaks assembled in the area, and the work for maintenance of temple started. And this activity was stopped after intervention of the Prime Minister. Meetings started between Babri Masjid Action Committee and BHP leaders in presence of the Home Minister. On 30th October, Dharam Shansad of Bharatiya Hindu Parishad, Vishwa Hindu Parishad BHP proclaimed in Delhi that the talks have failed and Kasheva will presume over 6 December central government was considering the deployment of central police forces in the area and dissolution of state government, but in the end decided against it. The case was being heard in the Supreme Court, which told that the state government is responsible for ensuring law and order in the area. The government was discussing it in cabinet committee meeting, and Rashtriya Ekta Parishad BJP and boycotted the parishad. The Allahabad High Court was hearing the matter of legality of structure of foundation laid in 1989. In 1992, the Babri Mosque was demolished by a gathering. Near 2 lakhs Kashevaks. Communal riots across India followed. 10 days after the demolition, in 1992, 10 days after the demolition, the Congress government at the centre, headed by P.V. Narasimha Rao, set up a commission of inquiry under Justice Liberhan, and in 1993, 3 months after being constituted, the Liberhan Commission began investigation into who and what led to the demolition of the Babri Mosque. Tensions rose on the anniversary of the demolition of the mosque as the BHP reaffirmed its resolve to build a temple at the site. In 2002, at least 58 people were killed in Godhra, Gujarat, in an attack on the train believed to be carrying Hindu volunteers from Ayodhya, and riots followed in the state, and over 2,000 people were unofficially reported to have died in these. And in 2003, the court ordered a survey to find out whether a temple to Lord Rama existed on the site. In August, the survey presented evidence of temple under the mosque. Muslim groups disputed the findings. In 2003, a court ruled that 7 Hindu leaders, including some prominent BJP leaders, should stand trial for inciting the destruction of the Babri Mosque. In 2004, an Uttar Pradesh court ruled that an earlier order which exonerated Advani for his role in the destruction of the mosque should be reviewed. In 2007, the Supreme Court refused to admit a review petition on the Ayodhya dispute. In 2009, the Liberal Commission, which was instituted 10 days after the demolition of Babri Mosque in 1992, submitted its report on 30 June, almost 17 years after it began its inquiry. Its contents were not made public. In 2010, 30 September, the Allahabad High Court pronounces its verdict on 4 title suits relating to the Ayodhya dispute on 30 September 2010. Ayodhya land to be divided into 3 parts. 1/3 goes to Ram Lila, represented by the Hindu Mahasabha, and 1/3 to Sunni Waqf Board. 1/3 goes to Nimahi Akara. And in 2010, again in December, the Akhil Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha and Sunni Waqf Board moved to the Supreme Court of India, challenging the part of the Allahabad High Court's verdict. In 2011, 9th May, Supreme Court of India stayed the High Court order and splitting the disputed side in 3 parts and said that status quo will remain. In 2019, 6th August, the 5-judge Constitution Bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi of Supreme Court started final hearing on the case. In 2019, 16th October, and the final hearing in the Supreme Court ends. The bench resolved the final judgment. The bench granted 3 days to contesting parties to file written notes on molding of relief or narrowing down the issues on which the court is required to adjudicate. In 2019, 9th November, final judgment delivered. The Supreme Court ordered the land to be handed over to a trust to build the Hindu temple. It also ordered the government to give alternate 5-acre land to Sunni Waqf Board for the purpose of building a mosque. So, dear viewers, the Supreme Court has made it clear that there will be a representative trust to represent the deity. And I would like to wind this episode on Ayodhya verdict for the timing, but in the coming days, I would like to focus on more core issues on this verdict and the latest developments. And thank you all for being with me, and keep watching ABC News HD Live on YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter too. It's time to say bye-bye. Have a great time. Namaste.
This is ABC News HD Live.